to help my cameraman during the program.
Are you sure?
Of course, I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure. And we were supposed to come back the following day, but we couldn't make it because all of us were weak. No, it was like we were dehydrated.
It was a serious case of food poisoning.
Yeah, it was a serious case of food poisoning. And anyway, in fact, when I came, I couldn't come the next day to work, and even the second day, I had to rest and take medication.
But I believe you are the most affected because of the huge chunks of meat that you kind of devoured that evening. Because when I called to establish your whereabouts and status and the like, I was told that you are busy guiding whichever official you went with to select the juiciest portions.
No. Actually, it wasn't like that. It's only like that.
Balde, I believe you are now the acting managing editor, GRTS TV newsroom.
All work and no play make Jacks a dull boy. So we are here having fun. Happy New Year to our esteemed viewers. Happy New Year to management. And Happy New Year to everybody who has supported GRTS during the course of the year. Well, I haven't started growing gray hairs. I think these are all challenges, all what these reporters have stated here during the start of this program. These are all frank challenges that we face here. If you are coming here, you must be prepared to work, and then be tasked every minute. It's a task given to you, whether you know it or not. So it's another added responsibility, which we say, alhamdulillah, because this is what we have actually been praying for. When you are here, you move. And as you move to newer responsibilities, you wake up to those responsibilities, whether you like it or not. So the assignment, everything comes from management. You know, when letters are written, they are addressed to the Director General, who minutes it, and then it gets down to the newsroom. Then you start, the balancing act is when you decide which reporters should cover it. And sometimes it becomes crazy when you find out that you don't have a reporter for particular programs. Someone is sick, someone is assistant editor, someone is supposed to do another function which is also vital. So it becomes like you say, that becomes sort of sickening, if you, for want of a better word.
But I believe also we are opportune enough also to go to Sierra Leone to cover their Golden Jubilee. And I believe in the company of, was it the Vice President?
Exactly. Well, the most amazing aspect of that journey was my boarding a helicopter. I have never in my life, board a helicopter. So when we are moving there, in fact, that trip also sort of showed me another word in my vocabulary, helipad. That's why helicopters normally, anchor. So on the whole, you have airport for normal flights and helipad where helicopters anchor. So when we were there, unfortunately, we couldn't film it because it's highly sensitive area. Sierra Leone is in the transition still now. And I must say the government of the Gambia was highly commended for playing a vital role in Sierra Leone reconstruction, because if you see the leftover of war, what war actually is capable of doing, or the devastation it has actually inflicted on the people, you will definitely not see people fighting without separating them. So the government of the Gambia was commended, starting from the time when our guys were there on ECOMOB duties, coming down to the president, His Excellency Sir Professor Hadi Dr. IJJ Jammeh's role, and then coming down to the vice president. So it was a 50-year anniversary, Golden Jubilee, which was not an easy celebration. When you see people who were actually dealt with, so to speak, during the war, marched past the president, and 4 African leaders were also there in attendance. 50 years comes, very rare for people. I've gone there for 50 years anniversary, the Golden Jubilee. Another 50 years, God knows whether I'll be around, or whether those Sierra Leoneans who were there, who filled the stadium to capacity, will be there. So it was very emotional. And the other thing is, I counted myself lucky to be part of history, because when we are recounting these things, we will all go back and look at the tapes and see, actually how these people decided to forget the past, and now they are moving ahead and saying, let's forget about the past, let's try to see how we can come together and then develop our country. And Gambia played a role in the sense that going there, and then the vice president addressed them and then told them that, look, what has happened has happened. Now what is important is, it's not about the president, but it's about the country, and this is what we need to do to work together and then see how best the country can forge ahead and forget about the vision vicious civil war that the country underwent in the early 2000s.
You're also the producer of this weekly program, Weekend Spectrum, which I believe is a sister program as far as the GRTS main bulletin is concerned. Should we expect some more creative new ideas and innovations?
Well, Fra, I like the last point when you say new and creative. I want to be frank to myself. Weekend Spectrum has not been in best form, if you like. Let me use Babakar Senghor or Famara's word, football, in form. It has not been in a very good form, simply because I've also, you know very well, I'm going through a course at the University of the Gambia. So to some extent, I feel that this is not me, in the sense of the creative ideas, the time, the design of the program, and how it's people have been looking forward to it, because this is a program that I inherited from various producers. First it used to be produced by Jenama Nyang, then coming down to Yahabis, Adi, and then later Suleiman Dabo and myself. So it used to be called, in fact, it changed name from Weekend Magazine to Weekend Spectrum, and I must say, well, 2012, I should try to double up and see how best I can forge links with the core of reporters that we have here. Because it goes without saying, we have talented reporters here. We have reporters who are versatile in almost everything. You are there, you give guidelines, you give tips. Because every reporter, sometimes you produce a story, but that story is actually inspired by someone. That's what people have to understand. Because whether we like it or not, every one of us inspires us here in the newsroom. So Famara write a story very well. We call him and say, oh, that story was good. I can pick it up from that. Babakar Senghor write a sports story. It's interesting. I can pick it up from. I said to Mani. So, I mean, we have on the whole talented reporters, and then, management is also there to give us the back end, because when it comes to creativity, the sky is the limit.
You're right. Samuel Ba, you used to be a teacher. But I believe you've now decided to at least shelve that title and maybe, rat, like they call them. I don't want to use that word because I believe it's a bit demeaning also. But taking into account the transition that you went through, I believe it's like you're more used to standing in front of maybe students.
It has not been easy, of course. I'm a trained teacher, and having to leave the field and find yourself in a completely different profession. Of course, reporting or journalism is a very, very challenging, profession. And like my previous or my colleagues rightly said, it is challenging, it is interesting, but very, very educative. This is the place where, you don't specialize in one thing, unlike the teaching field, where I used to teach history, and that is what I have been doing for the past 4 or 5 years. Every day you come, you talk about battles, you talk about the River Gambia, you talk about this thing. But here is a different thing. Today you deal with a sick child, the next minute you are taken to cover an education program, the other day you are in agriculture, so you keep doing different things. So it's very, very challenging, it is educative, and I must say that slowly but surely we are definitely learning and we are really coping.
But I believe of late you've been going to the provinces, and there is this cousin of yours who was like audacious enough to confront me, to at least tell us that, or tell me that you are being overused and the like. Do you feel like that?
Yeah, thank you very much, Francis. Yes, because I remember, because Jamal is my senior here, and when we left college, of course, he joined the family before me. Okay? I used to tell him, because when he started reporting, or when he joined the family, he was completely cut off from us. We hardly have, we hardly see him. So I remember at some point I used to tell him, Jamal, what sort of job do you do that you don't even have time for people nowadays? I wanted the type of job. I wish I find myself one day there. And honestly, that is exactly what I'm seeing. Like you said, my cousins have been confronting you to ask if, because honestly, it is a job that requires a lot of concentration, focus. Absolutely, because without this, you definitely won't live up to expectations.
You're right.
And that is why